Hey guys, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley here, and I need to call a quick timeout, a brief timeout, because I wanted to tell your listeners what I have been telling Foley is Pod listeners for a while now about all the cool things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
We kick off 2023 by going back to 1983 and the debut of the NWA U.S. Heavyweight Championship, commonly referred to as the 10 Pounds of Silver, on an all-new edition of Title Chase.
Over time has just kind of worn out, and then Magnum TA told me himself that he finally just polished some of the rest of it out because it just had some little bit in the corners or whatever that had hung on, and so he just finished the job.
Our book series continues, and this time we turn to Jim Crockett Promotions. Conrad and David Crockett dive into Jim Crockett Jr.'s handwritten booking logs from January 1985.
So tell us exactly what we're looking at here, the red books.
All right, the red books, I have to tell you, are basically, and I'll hold one up. This is a calendar for a book for 1985.
Yep.
All right, in it, I'm just going to pull a page. Handwritten, the matches, and also the gross of the city, towns that we're in, the matchups. And this is the Bible. It was started with my father.
On January 24th, Ad Free Shows is bringing you another premium watch-along event as we celebrate the 35-year anniversary of the very first Royal Rumble. And we're watching it live with the winner of that historic match, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan from the Golden Age of Wrestling. And I'm celebrating the 35th anniversary of my win in the first ever Royal Rumble by watching this Royal Rumble on adfreeshows.com. Join me January 24th at 9 p.m. adfreeshows.com. Tough guy, first ever winner. Ho!
That's just a small taste, a sampling, if you will, of what we have waiting for you. With 4 levels to choose from. 4. See for yourself why ad-free shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now, right now, at adfreeshows.com. Yeah.
As cold as a razor blade, as tight as a tourniquet, like the skin on a dying man. I don't want a piece of the world. I want the whole world. I make my own rules because it's much easier that way. Trust me.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus D'Angelo, and you're back in the Snake Pit. And, of course, we're here with the man himself, Mr. Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, what's going on, dude?
I'm shackled and ready to go.
Shackled and ready to go. Candidly, we are recording 2 episodes right now, so we're both locked in on our computers here for a little bit to bring you guys some great stories. And, brother, today we've got a fun one because we're talking about your old pal, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Wow.
But not the Mid-South days. We're going to talk about that someday. Right now, we're talking about Ted exclusively in the WWF, and I know you've probably got some stories to tell.
I might have 1 or 2 words to put in there sideways.
We'll figure it out along the way. I was just telling Jake before we started recording, as I was doing the research for the show, I was like, first of all, it's going to be more than 1 episode to talk about Ted in the WWF. But second of all, a lot of it is not going to have anything to do with Ted so much as it's going to have to do with the time period. There was a lot of moving parts, a lot of really interesting shit going on. So I'm excited to dive in. So Jake, if you're ready, we'll get moving.
I'm not afraid.
All right, both feet. Here we go. So focusing on Ted in the WWF today, but I know that you had some memorable moments with him in Mid-South that we'll cover at some point. When did you first meet Ted?
Oh, my God, man. First time I met Ted was 1974.
You remember the exact year?
Yeah, I do remember that one.
He must have left an impression.
Yeah, well, I refereed a match of his. He was actually wrestling my father.
And yeah, I refereed that match. It was quite memorable because I was green as a gourd, had no business of being in there as a referee. I did not know what refereeing was about. I didn't have a clue. Did not have a clue. You know, you might as well have had the guy on the first row in there refereeing because I was just as bad, if not worse, than what he would have done. Because, you know, I grew up around wrestling, but I never watched the referee. Who watches the referee?
Nobody.
Nobody.
You're supposed to not notice the ref, right?
That's right. He should be invisible. A good referee is damn near invisible. So for me to be in there trying to referee, it was my first night of refereeing, and it was horrible. Fans loved me. Oh my God. The heels couldn't get away with shit, man. I called stuff that I didn't see. I called stuff that was done behind my back, and I turned around, I know you did it. Break it 1, 2, 3. And they're like, get the fuck out of here.
So, like, were the boys ready to kill you when you'd get backstage after
Yeah,
that?
in fact, DiBiase punched me.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So what? You got to tell that story.
Well, he just he got fed up with me being in the middle of everything, and he just turned around and nailed me.
Backstage or in the ring?
No, in the ring.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I disqualified him. Showed him who's boss.
Was that supposed to be the finish of the match?
Nope.
Oh no. Was he going over?
Yep.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no.
I got my ass chewed up one side and down the other.
I bet it wasn't just from DiBiase either.
Nope.
Well, so I mean, that's a pretty early impression of him. Did you like him? Were you guys friends, or after that were you like, fuck this guy?
Well, I didn't see much of him after that. I refereed a few more of his matches, but I believe he went down the road somewhere else at that time, and I kept refereeing.
Oh, okay. And whenever you are both reaching WWF now, so we'll get into this part of it. Whenever you both are reaching WWF, were you hoping that, okay, maybe I can work with Ted?
Oh, yeah, of course. I knew what we'd done before, and, you know, it's easy to capture that magic with somebody you know like the back of your hand. And that's the way Ted and I worked. We knew what the other one was going to do before the guy doing it did. That's pretty bad whenever I know what you're going to do before you're thinking about it.
Well, I mean, that's chemistry, man. And
it is, man. It's what makes it work. It's what they call a good marriage, you know. You might have two great superstars, but if it's not a good marriage, man, the matches are going to stink to, you know, to high heaven. And the Lord knows nobody wants that, but it does happen.
It damn sure showed with you two, and you guys had a lot of really memorable moments, and we'll start to get into some of them here. The issue between yourself and Ted kicked off at WrestleMania 5 when, after your match with Andre, DiBiase and Virgil came out to try and steal Damien before you you fended them off with the bag. And if that isn't enough to start the feud, you and DiBiase ratchet things up about a week later with a moment that's going to be our first clip of the week. It's a pretty iconic moment here, Jake, where you take the money away from Virgil and start giving it away to fans.
Yeah.
Jake, what's he doing? He's robbing. Oh no, he has all the money. I can't believe it. You know, he could go to jail for that, McMahon. This is right up there. That's $100 bill. That's $100 bill he's getting out to kids around ringside. He has no right to do that, McMahon. That is robbery. Jake the Snake should be brought up on charges as far as I'm concerned. Jake the Snake Roberts giving all that money away. I can't believe it. That's a legit Ben Franklin right there. They saved one. Yeah, why not? Jake the Snake Roberts, victorious in a matchup in which he should have defeated the $1 Million Man. Now what's going to happen? So in other words, he robs the $1 Million Man, and you condone it, McMahon. You know, you could come up on accessory charges for this. Coming in from behind, Ted DiBiase. Good. DiBiase hammering away. I don't care how sick DiBiase is when he sees his money being given away. Look at the reaction. DiBiase with the hold applied on Jake the Snake, trying to cinch it in. The $1 Million Dream. He came up from behind, DiBiase did, and applied pulling Jake the Snake. The Snake's falling, McMahon. He's going out. I love it. I love it. He's caught the criminal and apprehended him by himself. This is a citizen's arrest right here, McMahon. DiBiase applying his hold, and I think Jake the Snake is out. He's out. He's totally unconscious. He's done. I can't believe this. Look at that. Now he's going back to get what's his. You hear that? You don't steal his money.
So takes the money back, stuffs it in your mouth. Jake, how much money was that?
It was about $1,500.
Did you get to keep any?
There might have been a few hundred stuck.
a couple that got left in your pants by accident.
Maybe about 7.
Were drinks on you that night?
I couldn't let it out of the bag, man. Come on. I had to kayfabe that.
So here's what Meltzer had to say in the Observer from 4/17/89. Jake Roberts versus Ted DiBiase feud was set up when Jake pinned Virgil with a DDT, then took the money away from Virgil and stuffed some in his mouth and gave some away to fans until DiBiase jumped in. Jake also received a new 100-pound snake, is the note at the time. Jake, you had been dealing with neck issues. Are you about over it with these fucking heavy-ass snakes?
Yeah, man, they were killing me, bro. It's not only the fact that you have to carry it to the ring, but, I'm with that thing 24/7. So in the morning I woke up, I had to stuff it in a bag, get it out of the bathtub, stuff it in the bag, put it in a trunk, then carry the trunk and all my luggage down to the front desk, catch the shuttle, or if I've got a rental car, put the stuff in the rental car, drive to the airport, get out at the rental car place, carry all that stuff inside to the airport. I'm carrying 200 pounds of luggage.
Oh my God.
Every morning, every afternoon, because I'd fly someplace, have to go to the carousel and get the damn snake. And my luggage off of there and carry it to the rental car again, so carrying that around was really tough on you. It really, really was, man. You figure, well, you got a 100-pound snake, but you got your other gear too, you got your wrestling gear and your clothes and stuff. So there's another 50, 60 pounds there. So getting that around was not easy. Plus that big case that it was in was very cumbersome, man. So it wasn't a pleasure trip at all, man. It wasn't easy to be a snake.
Man, and here's the other thing is that you hear all the time how the guys say like, oh, just being on the road, it's you're a big guy. A lot of these guys are, and you're on the road, and it's like just sitting in a car is uncomfortable. Being on a plane is uncomfortable. You're traveling with the snake, and you're taking bumps once you get to the destination.
Yeah.
How much do you think this did contribute to the neck issues you're about to have here?
Oh my God. Well, we know what started all of that. It was a guitar shot.
Yes. The Honky Tonk Man in 87.
Yeah, once that was done, it was downhill from there, man. I like so many others, including Paul Orndorff, did the foolish thing. I kept trying to work through the pain,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. That also helped with my addiction because I was taking all sorts of everything just to numb myself enough where I could go out and work. But then, of course, after the match, you got to take yourself down. So you have to take some more.
Oh, man.
So it was a constant battle trying to play that fiddle and not break any chords. But I broke them all. I broke them all because there's no way of winning there. Once you're injured, man. You might as well face it. Go ahead and take care of it. Had I done that, and I would have probably been out several months, but I would have came back a whole lot better than I did,
right.
And because my issue was, I went a couple of years like that, and it finally got so bad that I could not lift my left arm at all, and I would go to the ring and I would turn my body sideways and I would sling my arm up onto the guy's shoulder and tell him from the very get-go, work on my arm. And then he'd grab my wrist and he'd start working on my arm, pounding on my arm, pounding on my arm. Now I don't have to raise it.
Oh, man.
See?
Yeah.
Because it was hard for me just to reach up to hook. I'd have to grab my tights so I could DDT somebody
Oh.
because I couldn't hold it.
So that's scary, you know, especially considering you brought up Paul Orndorff, and we all know what happened to him. You know, his one arm withered. Arn Anderson, his left, he can't use his left hand.
Same thing for me, man. It's left arm.
So I do have to ask too. Was your neck injured this entire period of time from 87 to 89?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's just getting progressively worse.
Oh my God, the pain just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And wouldn't you know, the one thing that's easy on everybody else was nearly killing me every time I did it. To do a DDT hurt so bad when I did it.
Because you're snapping back.
Yeah. I was having to take that bump. When I took that bump, it would just jar down my spinal column, man. It just, a few times my legs went numb.
Oh,
that was scary.
Yes.
You know, just for 3 or 4 seconds. But man, that 3 or 4 seconds seems like an hour. Because your legs go numb, you're like, oh no, not that. You know, then they're back. You know, it's okay. Whew, that was close. Yeah, how close was I getting crippling myself? I don't know.
Man,
I don't know.
Probably closer and closer every time you did that.
Yeah, every time I did it, man. Every time I did it, just made it worse.
It's frightening. And
but I was afraid to get out of the ring. I was afraid that if I got out of the ring, that I wouldn't be able to get back in. You know, that makes no sense at all. I know, but that's just that's the way an athlete thinks. He thinks that if he puts the boots on the shelf for 6 months, they'll never come back off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way it is. But in wrestling, it's a well-known fact that, brother, if you take time off, getting back in there is not going to be as easy as it was the first time, because there's going to be people in there that have taken your spot. You know, people might not understand that. You know, everybody's got a spot in this business. Where does Jake fit in? Well, right now, Jake is one step below Hogan. That's my spot.
Yep.
But if I step out, well, they've got to put somebody back in there.
And what if they're rolling with that guy by the time you return?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now you're sitting on the bench going, damn, I shouldn't have got out of the ring. That's the way your brain thinks.
Well, and it makes sense, especially in that era. There's no guarantees.
It does, man. And that's what everybody was afraid of. I'm not the only one that wrestled hurt. I mean, hell, I broke my wrist one time while I was wrestling up there. But I fell in the damn shower at the hotel. Imagine that. It broke my wrist. They put a cast on it. And then I went to wrestle in New York. And they would not let me wrestle with a cast on. It was against the rules. So I cut the cast off in the back, put tape on it, and then continued to wrestle with a broken wrist.
The risk you take there is like it could heal improperly, and then you'd really, really be in trouble.
Oh yeah.
But you're not thinking about it because you're not a salaried employee.
No, man.
If you don't work, you don't get paid.
That's it, bro.
That's scary. And you know what? Your injuries are really starting to manifest themselves at this time. Meltzer's got it in the Observer on 5/15/89 that you and Ted worked at a show that consisted mostly of rest holds, but before you cradled DiBiase for the victory, and a week later you'd be out of action with your neck injury. I have to believe that this is, you know, as we've been talking about, like you've just reached a point now where you're like, I can't keep doing this.
I couldn't do it anymore, man. It got to the point that I was in such pain that it was just crazy. I mean, it's like I'd be okay till I got in the ring. Then once I got in the ring, I'd start thinking about giving that DDT at the end. And you heard by Meltzer there that I cradled him for a 1, 2, 3. I didn't even do the DDT because the pain was just so unbelievable whenever I'd do it. And there was no getting around it. And it finally got to the point that Vince told me, he said, go home and don't come back to your well.
Well, yeah.
He was genuinely pissed off at me.
Well, I mean, was he paying you while you were away?
Huh?
So it's hard for
That's
him to
a
look at.
silly question.
I knew the answer before I asked. It's hard for him to
Yeah,
see it from other people's perspectives. I know.
yeah. And it was tough, man, going home and having the surgery. And then the first thing the doctor tells me is that you'll never wrestle again.
Scary.
And I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Oh, you'll never wrestle again. There's no way that we're going to be able to clear you. Your neck will never be strong enough for you to get back in the ring. And I remember what I said to him. I told him, it's a chemical world, Doc, and you don't have a fucking clue. And as soon as I got out of the hospital and got well enough to travel, I flew to Amsterdam and picked up a few packages of stuff and steroids and what have you, and flew back home and got through immigration without getting busted. And that's the only time I ever did it. And right, trust me.
Yeah. Well,
You know, back in the day that everybody used to give me all their dope
what to
and their
hold?
steroids, and I would put it in the snake bag, and it would go across in the snake bag. Only one time did they want to see inside that bag. And I nearly shit myself when they said they wanted to see the snake. I said, okay, you guys get him out because he's one mad son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know that you're probably going to get fucking bit. But go ahead. There he is. Go ahead. I'm not doing it. And they looked at the bag. And all they seen was that snake, and it was a big one, about 100-pounder, 120-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
And they just looked at it and went, oh, fuck, never mind. That's good. Go ahead.
So this is before the days of them like being able to scan all your shit.
Well, they scanned me before, and this was crazy. I went overseas. I can't remember if it was England or no, it wasn't England. It was Singapore.
Mm.
Singapore, and I had the Cobra in a Halliburton suitcase, small Halliburton,
Yeah.
and they scanned it. And I'm looking at the scanner and it's showing all the bones, and they want me to open it. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So I open it. The guy looks down at it, grabs the bag and picks it up and looks underneath the bag and moves some papers around and scratches his hand, puts it back down and tells me to go.
Wow.
Pick it up.
Whew.
It's like, you dumb fuck.
And I'm guessing you're sweating bullets in the meantime.
Oh my God. I knew I was going to jail.
Right.
I'm going to jail, guys. See you later.
You had to feel like the luckiest man on the planet that
Go
day.
ahead. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Whew.
Well, the other side of it, what if that was a bomb?
Yeah.
I mean, my God, is that the best you check? That's why when I go through security, I have a hard time now because I have to bring the oxygen up for the airplane. But they got to test that damn thing every time. And they want to see inside my bag every time.
Mm. I
don't get pissed off about that. I'm glad they're checking shit.
Right.
People that get furious, man. Oh, you're showing there's not a fucking thing in my fucking bag. Are you kidding me? Dude, shut the fuck up. They're doing a job.
Yep.
And it's a job that might pay off if you keep your mouth shut.
Well, the one time you don't check the wrong dude,
there you go, man.
You could have a huge crisis.
Oh shit.
So Meltzer goes out of his way a lot at this time to put over DiBiase. He actually says he considers him probably the best wrestler in the world outside of Japan. Of course, he has to throw that in there. But what do you think made DiBiase so special at this time?
I don't know. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Well, as somebody who is working with him consistently, what do you think made him such a pro?
Ted was always easy for me. Ted listened to me. We just went out there and did our stuff, man.
Mm.
Nothing less, nothing more. You know, went out and had our matches, and Ted was a consummate heel. You know, Ted had an easy way of just making you hate his ass. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he was arrogant, and he pulled it off pretty damn good. But as far as being the best in the world, my God,
Pretty high praise from Meltzer,
yeah,
especially at that time.
well, there again, Meltzer.
Yeah, so there's that caveat to consider.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, let's take a quick time out to talk about our pals over at Jimmy's Famous
Oh,
Seafood and how you can get their incredible food brought right to your door. Jake, we've been talking about them for a while, and there's
I
a good
want
reason.
6 lobsters right now. How long would it take them to get them to me?
Well, hey, man, that's the beautiful part, is if you spend $125 and use the promo code SNAKE, it takes 2 days. 2 days nationwide to get your favorite food sent straight to your house. And man, they're famous for a reason, Jake, and that's because they're the best in the country when it comes to making these foods. Am I right?
Because they come through, man. Anytime I've ever went in there, I get so mad at myself. Number one, because I'm eating way too much, and number two, because it's been too damn long since I've been in there. You know what I mean? It's like I should just route all my flights through and stop, eat, then get back on another plane and fly on to where I'm going. That's where it should be. It's that good.
It is that good. And you hear about the super rich and famous people will take like a private jet somewhere to get a meal. Well, you don't have to do it.
This is worth a jet.
Yeah, well, it would be worth a jet, but guess what? You don't have to spend that kind of money. You can get it sent right to your house because you listen to this podcast and you use a promo code SNAKE. Jake, we're talking about crab cakes, chowders, soup,
man.
oysters.
Crab cakes are unforgettable.
Oh, the best in maybe honestly the world, the best crab cakes. We're talking about signature steaks and desserts. They've been in business for over 40 years and have been featured on TV. And Jake, it's time. Let's get these people a famous gift box. Why don't you make a bundle and have it brought to your house?
Hell yeah, man! It's time to dive right in, man. I'm starting to salivate, man.
Right. And it's playoff season. There's never been a better time to get something sent straight to your house. How about the famous gift box? It includes 4 of the world's best colossal Maryland crab cakes, 2 different crab soups, crab dip, seafood seasoning, and their signature base sauce. Hey, how about a tailgate bundle made specifically for your playoff weekend or playoff party? We're talking about a full rack of barbecue ribs, a pint of crab dip, crab cake mix, or hey, what if you just create your own? You can get whatever you want sent to your house. And
too many choices. That's the only bad thing about it.
That's the only problem. But hey, order a couple of these custom-made boxes and really make it a hell of a Super Bowl party.
Rock on.
You'll be a legend at the Super Bowl party, guys. All you have to do is go to jimmysfamousseafood.com, and again, that's promo code SNAKE, SNAKE, and you got 2-day free shipping nationwide. One more time, jimmysfamousseafood.com, and the promo code is SNAKE. I mentioned earlier that you'd be out of action shortly hereafter, and you talked about a guy sliding in to take your place. Well, Roddy Piper would come in and make his return and take your place with DiBiase here. Here's what Meltzer had to say in the 522 issue in '89. As expected, Piper's return popped the crowds in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Sacramento like crazy, with his match with DiBiase actually getting significantly more heat in each city than the Hogan Savage main event, which packed the buildings. Piper wins these matches with the same finish sequence that DiBiase had been doing with Roberts around the horn. He also reports here that you would undergo surgery on your neck, and it's unconfirmed how long you'll be out of action. You would undergo not 1 but 2 surgeries here, as it turns out, in mid-1989, and would be out of action for something like 5 months to recover. So we talked about that nervousness of somebody taking your place. It had to be full force right now, right?
Oh yeah, man! It just come to fruition, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're so foolish, so sometimes we think that if we don't show up, the show won't go on. You know,
right?
The show will go on. You don't have to worry about that.
With or without you.
They'll find a different pony to run. And Piper was the guy that slid in there and collected some hellacious paydays.
Yep. Sure did. And it's DiBiase was the number 1 heel in the company, and as you mentioned, he was great at it. I know you weren't crazy about being a baby face, but you were good at it. And so now all of a sudden you find yourself on the outside looking in. It's got to be frustrating.
It's very frustrating, man. I've never liked a day off.
A lot of guys in this era had Lloyd's of London policies for their insurance. Was that something you ever considered?
No, I didn't consider that. I'm too honest to do that.
I'll tell you what, a lot of guys really, really took advantage of it.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
And I don't think that Lloyd's of London insures professional wrestlers.
I don't think they do it anymore.
No, sir.
No. No, those guys broke them. I think DiBiase's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know
he
that Kurt
collected.
Hennig, a couple other guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Road Warriors.
yeah, that's right. Them
And
too.
one of them had to give the money back.
Oh my God! I know that Rick Rude tried to convince Eric Bischoff to pay off his policy so he could get back into action. And Eric's like, I don't want anything to do with that. So at this point, you were a really well established character in the company. You had merchandise everywhere, toys everywhere. You know, you were legitimately, as I always say on this podcast, you were part of pop culture now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, your concerns, do you think that they were founded at the time, or I mean, was there just always a position for you, period?
It wouldn't matter what the truth was. It's how a person feels,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And if you're not the main ingredient going in the soup, you always want to be.
Right.
You know, if it's beef stew, I want to be the beef. I don't want to be the potato, sort of speaking, you know. And it didn't matter how many people told me I was the greatest. I never believed it. I've never believed that I was good.
Really?
And now looking back, I realize that, damn, I was pretty fucking good. You know, and I look back some of the matches now, and damn, I don't remember that, but that's pretty fucking good. You know, and I just, you know, that comes from what I went through as a kid, man. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not being loved as a child and not being patted on the back. You know, my father not ever giving me that thumbs up.
Man, it's a shame, you know, especially because of the light that we see you in. And one of the reasons that I always try to add clips to our shows is because after that first show that you and I did, I was watching yourself, and I could
Yeah.
tell that it was something you had forgotten about, and you were like, "Oh
Oh
shit, how
yeah.
about this?" So yeah,
Yeah.
we've got one more clip this week, and that's peek behind the curtain. That's why. So Piper came in, but he's not the only one. Guess who else is coming in at this time is a couple of JCP standouts with Dusty Rhodes and your old pal Barry Windham are coming up north to the WWF. So I know that you had worked with both guys previously and had some really
Yeah.
great moments with each. How were you feeling when you heard this news that
I was
your old pals are coming in?
glad to hear those guys were coming north, man. I mean, Barry Windham and I, man, I look back at those matches I had with him as some of the key matches that formed my career for me as a heel. Some of the matches I had with Barry were just unbelievable, man. And we'd go out and do 40 minutes every night like it was nothing. You know, it was just crazy. Of course, we were young and dumb and full of cum too. So there you go.
Well, he was coming in as a heel, so are you seeing this like, hey, when I get back, maybe me and Barry again?
Oh, I thought that in the beginning, and then started seeing where they were going and realized that wasn't going to happen.
With his Widowmaker gimmick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, that was bad. And my next question is actually something even worse. So here's the legendary Dusty Rhodes, a guy that you had worked with in Florida and established this incredible reputation. And Vince has got him in these vignettes, plunging toilets, delivering pizzas, and dressing ultimately in polka dots. Was it your perception that Vince held grudges against guys like Dusty who had success elsewhere?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the whole thing was to humiliate Dusty. You know, and but Dusty was so good, he pulled it off.
He did.
You know, and you don't think that didn't bite Vince's ass?
It had to.
Holy shit! What do I have to do to make this motherfucker die?
Right. Yeah, to your point, it's, you know, everybody's got these like hot valets during the series.
Oh yeah,
like, I'm giving him Sapphire, and he makes it work, and she becomes a fan favorite. Yeah,
he made it work, man, and that's the magic of Dusty Rhodes. You know, I mean, you hear me say every now and then I can wrestle a broomstick. Well, so could Dusty. But I don't know if you could dress me up in poke. Well, I don't know. I got lime green. I pulled off the lime green shit pretty good.
Yeah, you made it work.
Yeah, I made it work. But it just goes to show you something there. It doesn't matter how they dress you up. It's still the meat and the pie, man, that makes the sandwich. And that's nothing but filet.
That's it. And the only thing I'll say in defense of that bullshit is that Dusty, he was coming in during an era where it's these over the top cartoonish characters. And
Yeah.
previously he was just like the black trunks and boots guy. And Vince was probably like, what else can I do? And maybe humiliate him a little bit along the way.
Oh, he did. He went full bore, man, because that was never the plan.
Well, he did a good job, and something that was probably not a great job was that during your absence at this time, it's summer of 1989, and it's the release of No Holds Barred, the movie.
Oh,
Vince McMahon is getting into the movie business. What did you think?
Oh, yeah. When I started hearing some of the stories of the filming of that thing, I cringed because now they have totally smartened up everybody because they're having them go out and do stuff in the ring, then pause 30 seconds, do the exact same thing again.
Oh, no.
They've killed kayfabe forever. That was the final nail in the coffin, man, as far as kayfabe goes. Because I felt sorry for the poor people that had to sit in those damn buildings for 8 and 10 hours in a seat for whatever they made. Good God Almighty. What a rib on the people. Get them to sit there for hours upon hours of watching the same fucking shit.
Brutal.
It would have been bad enough if it was good shit to watch. But it wasn't even good shit to watch. It was horrible shit.
I've heard about Vince on like TV tapings. If something happened and he didn't like what happened in the match, he'd send them out and they do the exact same match, just like change the finish or whatever.
Right.
Like the fans
change the finish.
The fans are gonna be like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
Yeah,
right?
They don't understand it.
No.
And it just goes to show you where the fans are at, man. They know it's phony. They know it's fake. Don't worry about it, guys. They love what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the boys that get upset, not the fans.
Well, did you think that Vince was going to wind up having some success in the movie business or not so much?
No. No. No.
That it's proved out.
Well,
that he hasn't, I mean.
Yeah, he hasn't because he won't release enough control to let enough people get behind it that can actually do the job right.
Mm-hmm.
Vince has to have his paw in it, man.
So Vince is in the movie business, but here's what else is going on is the same summer, your old buddy Terry Funk is in Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. As you're seeing this, are you like, hey, my neck hurts, but I'm pretty famous. Should I talk to my agent about movies?
No, man, I never thought I was good enough. I never had an agent. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you didn't?
No, that's how stupid I am. To this day, I've never had an agent.
Well, you came from the era of handshake deals, though, so I do understand it. All right, so Jake, along with the movie at this time, you've also got a new talent that's coming in, and that's Tommy Lister coming in to play Zeus.
Oh God!
Now I've heard Arn Anderson mention on his podcast, Arn, which is part of our network. You guys should check it out. That there's some resentment among the talent when it came to this actor. And not just because it's an actor kind of breaking into your business, but apparently he's rumored to be making something like $1,000 a day, traveling everywhere in a limo, great hotels, and the whole work.
He got carte blanche, man.
So what did you think of this situation?
I thought it sucked. I mean, yeah, we're all jealous of that position, man. We all like to have that position. He's finally being treated the way we should all be treated.
Mm-hmm.
But none of us are. Huh.
Man, he got the hookup coming in the door and was not a good worker. Most of his matches.
Oh my God!
DQ'd immediately. Oh God!
Close your eyes, man. But what a look! He had a look.
Massive guy. His arms legitimately look bigger than Hogan's when they're standing next to each other. Yeah, so I mean, you can see what Vince sees in him, but man, it's like DQ finishes,
Oh
non-finishes, just
yeah.
awful, awful
He couldn't fight his way out of a trash bag.
stuff. Nice guy. Did you get to talk to him at all?
I always got along fine with the guy, man. I mean, I didn't take it out on him the way he was being treated. Vince was the one treating him that way.
Hmm.
I mean, I think most of the guys, well, no, there were some guys that hated him just for the fact that he was a human being.
Mhm.
It don't take much to piss the boys off,
It's-
but that's just the way it was, you know.
That's immediate heat coming in the door, getting the limo treatment and guaranteed money, though. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, he could walk, he could fart, he could do anything he wanted, man.
Must be nice. Well, Jake, you're still out, and if your neck injury isn't bad enough, there's a little legal issue at this time as well.
Yeah.
We've got this from the 724 Observer. Jake Roberts was released from prison earlier this week after posting $10,000 bond. Originally, the judge had refused to grant Roberts bail, stemming from his conviction last week on assault and battery charges stemming from an incident last December. Roberts will be sentenced on the charges on August 14th. The maximum sentence would be 15 years in prison, although the guidelines on the state gives for the first offender in Florida are a prison sentence of 12 to 30 months. Titan is desperately trying to cover this one up. By sheer coincidence, they had been planning to start a television campaign for the kids to send get well cards to Jake to help build up for the next souvenir bulk mailing, who legitimately is out of action due to his recent neck injury. However, this could be a PR problem if word got out that they were having kids send get well cards to a wrestler who was in prison at the time. Roberts
I always fuck up everything, don't I?
Right, I know they had a lot of success with that, sending stuff away for Hogan while he was hurt and stuff. So
Yeah.
you really threw a wrench in the works. Roberts was convicted of punching John Bartlett, 27, a 5'7", 160-pound man, after the two were bar hopping earlier in the evening in Daytona Beach. Bartlett claimed that Roberts was driving as they were headed to an after-hours club at about 4 a.m., and Roberts made some nasty comment about a woman in Daytona Beach. Bartlett argued with him. Roberts stopped the car and punched Bartlett out. Roberts claimed he was acting in self-defense. Bartlett suffered a broken cheekbone in 4 places and a broken bone around the eye. Interestingly enough, testifying on behalf of Roberts were Tully Blanchard and Bruce Brotherlove Pritchard. However, the jury took less than 2 hours to come up with the verdict. Blah, blah, blah. So, Jake, broken cheekbone in 4 places and a broken orbital bone. Remind me not to fucking piss you off, dude.
Yeah, I guess not, man. Here's the thing. That 5'7" guy, once he was truly exposed as to what he really was, he was a real piece of work, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He claimed to be a boxer, this, that, and the other, and in the service, and did this. He fought for his country because he's an all-American boy. And he claimed that he had broken both hands boxing. And actually what happened was he fell off the back end of a garbage truck and broke both of his hands. He was garbage detail in the service because they didn't trust him doing anything else. My lawyers, my first trial, I'd gotten some bad advice and had hired a guy that had an obvious drug problem. And he fell asleep during my trial.
Oh my God.
That's not a good thing to see when you look over and your fucking lawyer is snoozing.
That is not good.
No. And Bartlett, his lawyers, they had schooled him really well and told him exactly what to say, this, that, and the other. The fact was, my version is a little bit different than his. What was happening was I was trying to get him back to his house because he was drunk and out of control. And, telling people, "This is Jake the Snake Roberts. Come over here. Come here, sweetheart. Come sit in his lap." This, that, and the other. I'm like, man, get this bullshit away from me, man. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to drink, So I got into the car, and then I'm driving down the road, and he punches me in the face while I'm driving.
What the hell?
Well, not in the face, and the side of the cheek. So I pull over. Well, when I pull over, he jumps out, runs around the car, jerks my car door open, then grabs me by the hair and starts dragging me out.
Oh,
Well, I bitch slapped him.
so you didn't even punch him; you just slapped him.
Slapped him. He laughed. He laughed and took off running down the street. Now, he didn't go to the hospital. He went to the lawyer's office 48 hours later.
Wow.
48 hours. And then he went to the hospital. Does it take long to figure this out?
No. So you slapped him, and then he went and injured himself intentionally.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly, brother. I swear to God, I did not punch that guy. On my children's lives, on my life, the whole shit and caboodle on my mother's grave, I did not punch that guy. In fact, that motherfucker sent me a thank you card.
Did he?
After the settlement was paid.
Oh,
thanks for my new house, Jake.
Fuck this guy.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Damn, dude. This is one of those moments where maybe being a celebrity isn't always great, right?
It's not, man. Being a celebrity, you're marked, man. It's even worse today, man, with all these friggin' cameras they got going. People will set your ass up. You know, I mean, it happens. It's really bad in England.
Oh, really?
The newspapers over there are really bad about doing it. They'll have some guy in a bar and they'll send some girl to run in there and you just run over and jump in his fucking arms and then put your mouth on his face and we're going to get a picture of it.
What? Why?
So then it comes out in the fucking newspaper that you're fucking around on your old lady.
And then they can extort you with it. Say like, hey, well,
they just do it to bring their fucking ratings up.
That is unbelievable.
But they've been busted several times for doing that.
Wow.
Well, now not only newspapers are doing it, but your normal fans are doing it. You fucking kidding me?
Has a fan ever pulled any shit like that with you? Maybe not necessarily.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The kiss?
Oh, not the kiss. No, but I've been like tried to sucker punch me and shit like that. Oh yeah,
dude.
You know what I do? I put my hands in my fucking pocket.
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter if I'm retaliating or what. I get in front of a judge. Well, that's what was so funny during the trial. If you read the transcripts, they said, how could you be afraid of this guy? I'm like, wait a minute. They said, no, seriously, Jake, how could you be afraid of Mr. Bartlett or whatever his name was? He's 5'7". Because you wrestled Andre the Giant, and he's 7 foot what? He's 7'5". And you were afraid of Mr. Bartlett. And my answer to that was, do you think I'm really fighting Andre the Giant? And you work for the state? You're a stupid motherfucker. I'm not fighting Andre the Giant. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, they played that shit up. You make millions of dollars wrestling on television. Oh, really? Here's what I make wrestling on television. I make $50 fucking dollars for wrestling on television because that's what the going price was back then.
Right.
$50 for every match. So if I work 3 matches on a taping, do I get 150? No, you just get 50. You just get 50. That's right.
Wow.
That's the honest to God truth. Enhancement talent would get $500 a match.
What?
Yeah, they would get $500 a match.
So they were making more than the main event
the top talent.
How did that work? Like, how do you get paid then? Like your actual money following all this? Is it just like okay? So you're getting cold hard cash at these buildings for this payout?
You were allowed to draw money out every night against your check.
Okay.
You could draw up to $200.
I got you.
But what we did at TV, you just walk by, they just toss you a $50 bill, and you say, "Gee, thanks." Keep right on fucking walking.
Well, I do want to ask at this time. I mean, the neck injury you mentioned earlier, a little bit of concern
Yeah.
about other guys taking your spot. Now this legal shit. Are you like, I'm fucked? Are you thinking your job
Oh
is
my
over?
God, man. I'm thinking I'm done.
Oh man,
I'm scared to death. Scared to fucking death, man.
understandably so. And I do have a little bit here of what you said whenever they brought up that, hey, look, you're a wrestler. You know, you're used to violence in the ring. In the 1-8 Observer, Meltzer goes on to say that you said, I'm more of an actor than a fighter. And I'm wondering, was there any heat with Vince or anybody backstage? Like, kayfabe was still alive.
No.
Not at all.
Nope. Nobody said anything to me.
I mean, hopefully they understand. You're just trying to get yourself out of a very weird situation.
Oh my God, brother.
It does say that you were on parole. Went on
Yeah.
parole during this period. And this is just literal ignorance, so maybe you can smart me up. How exactly does it work when you're on probation, rather, when you're on
Yeah.
probation and they travel, like you travel from state to state for a living?
Yeah. Well, I had to get a special permit to do all that.
Mm.
Yeah. But now, knowing this, at that time, if I'd gotten pulled over for fucking a joint, I'd have went to prison for 15 years.
Oh my God, man.
If I'd gotten a barroom fight, I'd have went to prison for 15 years. So I literally put my fucking hands in my pockets.
The only way out of it?
That's the only way I could do it, man.
So what was, if you don't mind my asking, what was your drug use like at this time? Did you dial it back for fear of getting pinched?
No, fuck no, man.
No?
We kept right on going, brother.
Wow.
Did what I had to do.
It's addiction, man.
Yeah. It's not a fun trip, man.
Well, in the 9/11 edition of the Observer, it's known that you made your return to the WWF to do interviews at the TV tapings. I have your return appearance. It's about a 2-minute clip in our final clip of the week. I wanted this because the reaction that you get when you return is unbelievable.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back, after an absence that has been much too long, one of the great ones in the World Wrestling Federation, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, what a response. And it's great to see Jake the Snake back with us.
And stay on you.
And look how big Damien got.
Oh, my goodness.
Jake Roberts, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, solely responsible for you being out of wrestling for the past few months. He says it's much too soon for you to return to the ring for action with him.
You know, maybe he talked to doctors and maybe he talked to a lot of people, but maybe he should have talked to my psychiatrist because I'm a little bit different than anybody else. Sure, I've got numbness in my fingers and I've got a weaker left arm and the neck's a little bit stiff when I try to turn it due to the operation. But DiBiase, the stiffness and the numbness and the weakness are nothing compared to the hatred that sits behind these cold eyes, my man. Or the fire that spews ashes out of my brain each and every time I think of you.
Jake Roberts. Jake, I have talked to physicians. I've seen the doctor's report.
Concentrate, Gene.
And it's quite clear to me that makes me nervous. I got to tell you, makes me nervous. It's quite clear to me, Jake Roberts, that you may not be ready to get back to action. It may be too soon.
I tell you what, let DiBiase grab a hold of the snake and let him tell you if I'm ready or not. I'll tell you this. Ted DiBiase, Damien and I are not responsible for bringing you into this lovely world, but we'll damn sure be the ones that take you out.
Wait a minute, Jake Roberts. The $1 Million Man has said many times he advises you not to return to the ring and go against him.
Gene, the obsession that burns within my heart each and every day can only tell Ted DiBiase one thing.
What's that?
Dial 911.
I can't believe it. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Wow. That is
Not a
one
bad
hell of a
pop.
reaction. My God, dude. just an insane reaction. I mean, that has to feel great coming back to that.
That felt pretty good now. There for a moment, I thought I was a superstar.
I would say you were pretty well established there with that kind of reaction. Holy shit! I mean, what is Vince saying whenever you get backstage after something like that? Like, okay, we need to ratchet you back up.
He doesn't say nothing.
No.
No, he wants you to keep doubting yourself, man. Are you kidding me?
What a shame! If the unbelievable perspective, like you've got this guy who's obviously beloved, and that's your take on it. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Did you have any apprehensions when it came to getting back in the ring again?
No, none at all.
Was your neck like essentially 100%?
No, it wasn't. I was told not to ever wrestle again.
But you were just dying to get back in there.
I said, I'm doing it, man. Fuck you.
Has it plagued you?
Yeah.
Like, would you say it's plagued you to this day?
Oh yeah. The weakness gets worse each year. Not near as strong on my left side as I am on my right. I can't lay down, and if I lay on a flat table, my head won't touch the table.
Wow.
My neck won't bend.
That's got to be scary.
This is as far as it will turn that way, and that's as far as it turns that way.
And you said
that's as far up as I can look.
Oh.
And that's as far down as I can look. But looking up is impossible.
And you said you feel like it gets worse still every day. All
the
time?
Yeah.
That's frightening, man.
It is, but it's where I'm at, man. And that's life. I mean, you roll up and down these roads and you take a beating and you get back out there and you do it one more time because you love it, because you want it, and because you want to make those fans out there happy, and that's just what you do. And you throw caution to the wind each and every day when you walk out that door, man. Are you kidding me? I'm not the only fool taking chances. Every time you walk outside your door, you're taking a chance. Every time you get in your automobile, you're taking a chance.
Yep.
Hell, some guy might piss you off, or some guy may get pissed off because of something you done in your car, and you might not even be aware of what you did. But he'll pull up beside you and pull a gun out and shoot your stupid ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know what the fuck was going on. Life isn't. Life's highly overrated. It really is, man, because it's cheap. Life is cheap.
I would venture to guess that you wouldn't give back any one of your bumps, though.
No.
For better neck health, right?
No.
Satisfied with how it all worked out.
Yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at in my life today, and that's the main thing, Marcus. You got to be happy with where you're at now. And right now, regardless of all the bullshit that went wrong, regardless of all the bullshit that went right, I'm extremely happy with my heart and where I'm at with my family, with my friends. I mean, this evening, I'm going to have a couple of friends come over. We're going to do a cookout and watch a ball game. It don't get no better. For me, that's what I want to do. That's who I am today. And as long as I can go fishing every couple of months and tinker with my cars a little bit here and there, or maybe even work on some old furniture like this piece behind me, which I built.
Did you?
Yep. I built that when I was 17 years old.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a china cabinet. I built it for my mother.
What an awesome piece.
Those underwear up there aren't mine.
I saw somebody in the comments at one point asked, are those underwear behind Jake?
They are underwear. There's a famous movie, sort of, now freak shows love it. Oh my God, my mind just went blank.
A movie?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Those are Barry's underwear.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, the stars.
From the movie?
Yeah.
That is cool. How did you get those?
I bought them probably at a signing.
That is too cool.
I think I'm selling pictures. He's selling his fucking underwear. Jesus Christ, man. Oh well. He's one up on me.
I've been wanting to ask you about a lot of this stuff, and I've seen that a lot of people do. So we're probably gonna have a couple of those on the next Ask Jake Anything.
Sure.
Well, Jake, you know what? We're gonna wrap this episode up, and unbelievably, we've barely talked about Ted DiBiase, so it might have to rename this one. But we got exactly what I wanted out of this. A lot of diversions, a lot of really interesting stuff that I don't think you'd normally talk about, probably haven't discussed in interviews. So that's the fun thing about the Snake Pit, man. And guys, you can be part of the Snake Pit whenever you follow us on all social media platforms and talk to us. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you want to hear. And I do a lot of posting on there and ask for your questions for upcoming episodes. So follow us on all social media platforms at Snake Pit Pod so that you can get in on the action there and make sure that your question gets asked whenever we are doing a new episode. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our pal Eric Bischoff and his new autobiography, Grateful, which came out a couple months ago now, and it's getting remarkable reviews. Check it out, guys. Really, Eric's a legend. He's done so much in this business. So check out Grateful now. You can get your copy on Amazon or at bischoffbook.com. Just a reminder, you can get the Snake Pit and all the other shows in our network early and ad-free over at adfreeshows.com, starting at just $9. That's less than 15 cents an episode each month, and there's tons of bonus content. You get to interact with some of your favorite wrestlers, so get on over to adfreeshows.com today and get signed up. It is well worth it. Catch Jake on Twitter at JakeSnakeDDT, on Instagram at Jake the Snake DDT, and on Facebook at Real Jake the Snake. You can follow me at Marcus P. D'Angelo on Twitter. You can follow the podcast as I said, at Snake Pit Pod on all social media platforms. But Jake, something else they can do if they want a little interaction with you. How about your Cameo?
You got to dial it in, man. That's all you got to do, and I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 minutes of my stuff. That's what I do.
Man, it's the best promo in the history of wrestling, and he can just send you one now.
I'll cut you one. I'll cut one on your ass. Or I've had guys ask me to quit their job for them. I've had guys ask me to break up with their girlfriends.
That's amazing.
I mean, I love doing that stuff, man.
I've got to get on there and hear one of your, because guys, you can check it out now at cameo.com/Jake Snake, and a lot of people will post their videos on there afterwards, leave reviews. So I'm going to be digging around now to see a Jake breaking up with somebody's girlfriend video. That sounds
man,
can't miss.
Absolutely, it's a fun time.
Guys, you can pick up a little something for yourself or a friend when you go to jakethesnakeshop.com. Jake is still running a special over there. If you buy anything, you get a free signed 8x10 along with your order.
Can't beat that.
I mean, come on, the value there. Plus, it's whatever you buy is an awesome collectible in and of itself. So get over to jakethesnakeshop.com and take advantage of it. And Jake, that is it for this episode, my friend.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
I guess we'll do another one next week, huh?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time right here on the Snake Pit.
So I had gone to the StarCast 5 show in Nashville, which was fantastic. Kudos to everybody involved with that. And they had a booth. And it's like any cheap guy, I'm just like, free stuff. Let me go try to win that stuff. So entered some drawings, put down my info, and I got a call from Steven a couple of weeks later with First Family Mortgage. And we have been in the market for a refi a little bit. We were looking to extend our HELOC. And he hit me at the perfect time, so I said, hey man, go nuts, let's see what we can figure out. And within, I'd say 30-45 minutes tops, he had a pretty great offer, so I was able to get transferred to Diane, who was also great, and just kind of get a little bit more info. Tabled it for about a week or so, went through some things on my end, and everyone came back to me, so that's a great deal, you got to go with it, and we did. And now the rest is history. It took only 30 to 45 days max, the whole process. It was great. About $1,100 of cash flow was freed up because of the refi. So $1,100 a month back in our pocket. It was fantastic. Like I recommend them because they make you feel like you're a human being. They want what's best for you. And it's, again, a simple process. In and out of the whole process within, again, 30 to 45 days. And I got my wire for cash back to pay off my credit cards. And just no BS. That's what I did. I just made a payment yesterday on my second largest credit card, and it's just like, oh crap, we did it. And this was only 2 months ago, 2 months and change before the whole thing started, before I probably even, so Can't recommend them enough.